GM. GM. Trade of the day. So, I'm long Bitcoin. I added more to my long yesterday. I was talking about this. I'm going to hide this. It's a bit easier to see. I think we push up and above this previous point of control resistance. It's really simple. We're in an uptrend on everything, even the daily. Early uptrend. My goal with reversal trades, which is what this was, is you want to buy when you think the bottom's in, but people aren't sure. So I bought down here. We got the pump up. Now people are like, okay, well, I guess Bitcoin's going up. But most people are still underexposed. There's still a strong short squeeze going on. And so we can see price compressing here in an upwards manner. A little false breakout, but mostly it's grinding up and up and up. I expect to see another leg up to take out these highs here. That is where I'll seek to exit. So if you remember from last week, that was my T2. That was the original T2 on the long trade. The CME gap was filled, so we're fine there. No reason to go down for that. I had taken profit initially, so I had opened a position. I had took 20% profit at 42. I took more at 42.5, and I took another bit before my stream last night. So I was originally half out. I'd taken half profit on my long. I've re-added, as I mentioned in trading analysis. I set orders from 41.9 all the way down to 41.4 overnight in that red zone. Some of those got filled, not all of them. I got about half of them filled. I had laid it as 4 orders: 41.9, 8, 7, 41.9, 8, 6, and I think it was 4. Didn't get the one at 6 and 4 filled, but got half of them filled. So I'm back to about 75% of my position from before. So yesterday it was at half. I've added a bit back on. Everything I'm seeing is good. I'm happy. I like how it looks. I think we go higher. And I think at that point, even if I think we can go a lot higher. I think we can go to 46. We can go to 45, whatever. But as soon as we make a move towards 44, I'm going to be getting out of that long. Because at that point, I'm no longer early. Right? Remember, I'm long spot. I keep buying spot. I bought the dip. All that kind of stuff. Buying spot is what you do when you see fear and panic. But for the long trade, my entry was, I think it's going to reverse. I don't think people know this yet, or they're not pricing it in. Then we push up, and we are now trending up. If we trend up again, that's going to trigger a bunch of trend followers to go long. Because the way a market works is you have two types. We have more than two types, but in this sense, you have a trend, right? Then you have a reversal, which is here. You can see it as an under-over, head and shoulders, inverse. Then you trend in the opposite direction, right? And then you do the same. And then that's broadly how markets move, right? So the goal as a reversal trader is to catch the reversal as early as possible. So you wait for the break, you wait for it to pull back, you get long. You're betting that it doesn't go below here. Then it goes up, great. You get that first push, it confirms your trade. By the time it is a second push into here, this is where trend followers flip long, most often. Why? Because that's when price has had enough of an uptrend, highs, lows, higher lows. It's moved above certain MAs as well. It will move above the 100, the 50, 100, 200. Will be starting to be positive on all time frames. And that doesn't mean that it's a bad thing, but that's not my trade. My trade was the reversal. So in the reversal, I want to be long here and out here. Because I know that once trend followers flip long, that's usually a time where there can be a low time frame pullback. So the edge you have as a low time frame trader is like this. I trade on the 4 hour, right? We'll hide the drawings. We'll put on some indicators, 50, 100, 200. So you can see the 50, 100, and 200 are not long yet. They're actually still bearish. Now, they're not fully bearish. We have 50 below 100, below 2, like we had here. 50, 100, 2. So down here, trend followers would have been totally short because the 50 is below the 100, which is below the 200. If you're a 4 hour trend trader, that means you should be short. We now have them still in that order, but clearly pushing up. So once the 50 crosses the 100, That's your first early sign. But then once the 50 gets above the 100, gets above the 200, and they start looking like this again, where it's purple over red over blue, that's when all trend following systems will go long. As in like the 4 hour. Obviously there's a multitude of other different trend systems you can have, but just looking at that one particular one, you can use any that you want, but the one I use is the 4 hour, 50, 100, 200. You can use whatever you want. Backtest it. When that flips, price will be higher. It has to be higher, right? And if price is higher and all of those have flipped, that means that I'm in from 39.6, 39.7. Let's say we're at 44. Do I want to keep carrying all of my long when I know that there's going to be other people coming in and buying, the trend followers? No, because I need liquidity. I want to exit. So if I know that when the 50 crosses the 100 crosses the 200, and they're in positive 50, 100, 200 in that order, that means that other people are going to buy. The trend follower is going to buy, so I'll sell to them and I'll exit. That's my trade done. Their trade begins. Again, it doesn't mean we have to go to zero or drop after that. We could keep going. Like you see, we could be flipping into the uptrend and away it goes. But usually, when you get that, it's something like, I don't know if it'll be like this messy or choppy or whatever, but you see it over here. 50 below 100, below 200. So bearish. We're bearish, we're bearish, we're bearish. But the best time to get your reversal trade in was here. And we actually traded this at the time. Price pushed down below the lows, strong reversal, we got long. If you remember back at the time, I exited part of my trade here and part of it here. Why? Because the bands were starting to move into that shape. We actually got the exact cross here, right at the top, right at the very, very, very top, was the first time we got the 50 above the 100, above the 200. See? And so that would be the sign for me to get out of my reversal trade. Now, this ended up just coming back in and forming a higher low, and away we went into a big trend, which is again what I expect. But my reversal trade will be over once those bands cross. That's still probably a few days away, right? You have to see, like, first of all, if you go back, like the 50 has to cross the 100 first, or the 200, whatever. Right, they first have to cross. You just have to get one of them. The 50 has to start moving back towards the top. And then you got the 200. But this was a much more aggressive downtrend. So you'll see the bands here will cross much sooner. The 50 will cross the 100 probably, if we push higher, probably tomorrow. And then by probably Wednesday, I would say, we could see the 50, 100, 200 back in order. And that's one thing I'm looking for. I won't wait for that necessarily. If price goes where I want, if price pushes the 44, 43.6, 44, that'll be also a sign to exit. In terms of invalidation, I don't think we should go back below on a close basis, back below the 50. I think the way it's holding here, it should continue to hold, and that gap should get left for now. I think that gap gets filled later. I think for now, though, it should hold. But really, if there's a faster moving level that it shouldn't lose, I would say it's this. We shouldn't see 4 hour closes below the 50 if this is going to be a continuing short squeeze, which I think it is. So you never know, anything can happen. Price can do whatever price is going to do, but that's how I'm playing it today. And outside of that, obviously we've got the Yellen, like, you know, whatever Yellen says today with the QRA, that's going to be big. The market's probably going to go sideways and chop around a bit until the decision is made by the Treasury, and from there we'll see. Obviously, if there's some major bearish catalyst for gold and for Bitcoin through the real yields and how it's priced in, I'll probably close the position, because no point being long if the Treasury actions are not supporting it. So that's it. GM. See you later. 5 p.m. UTC live stream. Blue belts 7 p.m. UTC for Mentorship Monday.